Hello everyone, thanks for joining me. This is Kevin Bredding, fitness coordinator for Campus Recreation. Here's a wellness tip using a stick. I have a normal broomstick. These are pretty easy to come by. If you don't have an empty stick, you can just screw the sweeper brush off and have a broomstick. And it can serve as a very good guide for some basic mobility drills. If I hold my stick about shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider, with my thumbs up, so I'm going to put the stick in that crease of my thumb and then just grab it a little bit just to make sure it doesn't roll off. And that's my starting position. I'm going to reach overhead, come back down, waist to overhead, keeping straight elbows. And when I get to my ears, I'm just going to go as high as I can without helping too much with my back. I want to keep my back neutral, but I still reach up and try to cover my ears with my arms and back down. So that's working through shoulder flexion and shoulder extension. Then I'm going to change my hand position. I'm going to go, and my broomstick, I like to actually hold it on the end and put a palm on each end of it. But if your stick may be longer, or if you're shorter or whatever, you don't have as big of a wingspan, grabbing it would be fine. But working as a rotation, I'm going to keep my hands about chest height and rotate behind and actively push with this forward hand into that stretch. My trunk, in the meantime, I'm trying to keep my belt buckle pointing forward as I press into that rotation. We do the same thing on the other side. Okay, next, I'm going to put my palms down and I'm going to go from one side to the next. And I'm going to shift my hips opposite my hands as I reach up to the top. Shift my hips opposite my hands, reach up to the top. Let's see if I can demonstrate this one. When I reach to my right, I'm going to take my right foot and step over. And I know you can't see it on the video, but if you kind of get a sense, this leg is going to step over the top. And I can land on that foot and get a big long stretch from the top of my left hand all the way down through my leg. And then I switch sides, this step over, reach up to the side. And then lastly, I'm going to do a few tilts with the stick on the ground. It's going to be in contact with the ground, and I'm going to use it as a guide for my hand. And it also gives me a sense of balance. If I stagger my feet, if my right hand has the stick, my left foot is going to be in front. I'm going to reach my hips away from that hand, and I'm thinking as a hip motion primarily. And if I want to add to that, I can reach overhead with that same side. Press my hips away from my hand, reach over the head, and I feel a mild to moderate stretch on the outside of my glute. But this is good mobility, not just for the shoulders, but for the hips as well. And then finally, both feet are on the same plane. I'm going to use the stick as a guide to reach my hands forward and sink my head in between my hands. Stand back up. See my feet. I'm going to use my stick in more complex ways, and I'm going to attach my footprint to it. Arms first, palms down with the stick, and I'm going to go from waist to shoulder, waist to shoulder. I'm going to hinge at the hips a little bit when I go down to the waist, and stand up tall and extend my hips. When I push back, I'm using this front hand to push the stick behind me in that overhead position. And then my footprint, I'm going to step backward with my right foot as I hinge at the hips and achieve a long left leg. And specifically, you can't see it, but I'm going to pull my toe up to me, up toward my face, in order to lengthen my hamstring as I reach toward it with my stick. And then I'm going to take a forward step with my right foot and press my hips forward as I push my hand behind me. Do a pivot step, meaning my left foot stays on the ground and my right foot is moving as I step between those two positions.